All right, so it is recording right now. All right, well, thank you for everybody coming. I can probably stop sharing my video. Stupid.
Thank you.
No problem. I know Gary has an issue with the hat. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to create a new style with the related SKUs.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be completed.
See, now we need to put everybody on mute.
Please try again later. Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be completed as the called party is temporary.
That was Nancy. I just muted her. All right, let's start this again. So we're going to start with creating a new style and related SKUs. This is when you guys log in, this is the dashboard you're going to see. Okay, this kind of gives you a nice little overview of everything that's inside the PIM. This is everybody, right? Here's all your products by product manager. You can click on these things and it will go to wherever you are. So if I'm Gary and I double click on Gary, we go to all the products tagged to Gary. Okay, that's how these dashboards work. So we have by product manager, by brand, by price list. So you can see all different products that are tagged to a price list. Then you get down to your products, right? So you have your products by style, but valid set they're in. So these are valid in production. These have severe errors on them, and you hover over them. Now you're supposed to. Now this is a fix that they're putting in there. Why this is a bug in their system still is beyond me. But you can't really double click on these things and go to the right spot. So this goes into record state on product error valid, which is correct. But this is going to be everybody, not just Gary's stuff. So they're working on the dashboards to get those more correct. But this is how they're going to be used in the future, right? So you have your products by style and by SKU right here, validity rate, and then what valid range they're in. So you have not valid, which obviously we need to get them to at least create so they can get into the ERP system. And then you have enrich. So that's the states that we're looking at. We're looking at not valid, which isn't going to export out to anywhere. Once it's create, it'll get export out to the ERP system. And then enrich means it's going to go to the ERP system and the website databases, right? So
Corey, real quick, I'm sorry. I'm not seeing that on my screen. I just have a widget title, login users. I don't have my stuff there.
Does it say product manager up on top here?
It says Jeff Cohen on the top. It doesn't say product. I see executives. Oh, go to product manager.
Click go to product manager. Yep.
Thank you. Now I got it. My apologies.
No worries. That's why we're here. So you'll see all your products by style, all your products by SKU right here. You'll be able to click on these things to see all the not valid and go see your products that are not valid state. So
Corey, can you just back up and explain what those 3 stages are?
I just did. Did no one else hear that?
But to explain what happens.
I just did, didn't I? So not valid means it's not getting exported anywhere. Create means it's getting export. Once it's create valid, it goes to the ERP system. And then once it's enrich, it goes to the ERP and the website tables.
Yes, I understood that.
Okay.
Okay.
Because the main thing is that
Moving along.
create works for you have to get to create style to begin with, but we have a lot of products that were loaded in that don't meet the create.
Correct. So the whole point of this, and I don't want to get too off topic here, the whole point of bringing the PIM in was to identify the products that are currently on our system that are in an error state, right? So we have anything that's in an error state of anything that's not meeting certain criteria. So the criteria we came up with was create and then enrich. So we can go through the whole validity state before, but it's not valid, it's not going anywhere. Create, it's going to go to the ERP system. Enrich means it's going to go to the ERP system and the website for updates.
So just to interpret real quick, when your buyer says, gee, I made this change overnight, it didn't take, as a product manager, you have to go in and fix something. It's missing something to get to the create green arrow before the change gets put through.
Correct. So if you're making changes in the system and your product is in an error state or it's not up to create yet, you have to understand that you have to get it to create for any of that stuff to get exported out to the ERP or the website. And if you want it to go out to the website, it has to be in enrich. So, all right, we're getting off topic a little bit, bringing values back in. This is where you're going to see all your products at style level and SKU level, and then we have the special project of boss right here, right? So this is all your boss products by the style. Here's all your products by price list. So these are all your products that are on a price list. So we're going to start creating more widgets based on different price lists, whether it's industrial, retail, or splitting out even further than that. So, but we're just at the beginning stages of using these dashboards. So you can see that these are all Gary's products right here. He has 1,841 valid styles or SKUs on a price list, and then he has 610 SKUs that need to get fixed, and that is also reflected in here. We have 1,838 and then 610 in not valid. So, and those are on a price list, right? So those 610 items right here that are on a price list, if he makes a change on this, he has to get them to create or enrich, which they're currently not in the state yet. And then you have the task board down here. Whether this is necessary or not, I don't know. I mean, I don't use this at all, but it shows you everything that's going on in the system right now. All right, so that's the dashboard. Any questions on the dashboard? This is going to keep getting built out. This is not the only widgets you're ever going to see here. And you guys also have the ability, if you guys go into your name right here, you guys can create your own widgets inside of here. But I'll just say this, they're insanely difficult to configure. So if you guys want your own widgets on your own dashboard that no one else sees, I can help you set those up if there's certain search criteria, and if it's something that I think that everyone would have it would be useful for everyone to have access to, we can just push that out globally as well. I just don't want to get into a crazy thing where we're doing all these different widgets on your own personal dashboards, and not everybody else has access to that. So if you have a request, let me know on the widget and we'll get it up there. Any questions on that? No? Perfect. All right, so this is the screen you come into. So now we're gonna create a new style from scratch. So I'm gonna come up here, and you're always gonna work in staging, okay? Production and support, you don't need these at all, but you're always gonna be working staging. Think once you get it into a create or enrich, it goes from here to production, but you're always working in staging, and it validates itself and then goes to production, okay? So I'm gonna click on style. So you come in here and you're gonna click on add. So first thing you come in here, there's all these different things on the side. I tried to make it as easy as possible to understand coming from the ERP world into the PIM now. The tab says ERP. This is all the stuff that's currently in the ERP system, right? And then all these different groupings on the side underneath the tab, this is all the names of the screens inside of Eclipse. So we have the product maintenance screen, we have SBTAI, accessible branches, product price maintenance, additional price maintenance. So we try to make it as easy as possible to make the transition from the ERP to the PIM. So all these things are named exactly how they're named inside of Eclipse. So what I like to do when I first come in to create a new style is I just like to hit save right away. So now it's going to go up, it's saved with errors. So now it's going to tell me the basic that I have to do right now to get this thing rolling, okay? So the first thing you're going to have to do, you see 2 errors on categorization, is right here, 4-level hierarchy. You come in here, click edit, and then hit the glass. Do not type in here, it's not going to get valid. You have to click that. You're going to come into the tree for categories. So we're going to do a hand protection, cut resistant gloves, polycore fiber, and then polyurethane. You can see it's building it all over here, right? I'm going to hit apply. And then for 2-level, it's the same thing as this up here. This was supposed to be automated. You see this is in yellow right here. Eventually, once you put the 4-level hierarchy in here, it'll flow down to this 2-level. Not sure why it's not working right now, but it's a bug in the system, and then they're dealing with it. Hand protection, cover resistant gloves, hit apply. Now I can hit save right here, and you'll see these 2 errors will go away. And now we have other errors. And if you see the thing up here where it says errors 104, I can just click on this down button, and I'll go right to the next error, okay? So company is important for a couple different reasons. Right now, it's everything in here, but the only stuff inside the system right now is either US for PIP USA or WC for Westchester. The reason why this is important is because it pulls from different UPC databases. PIP USA has its own set of UPCs in the system. Westchester has their own set of UPCs in the system. So when you're setting up the product, you're going to know where that product's going to lie, whether it's going to be on retail or industrial side. They have two different kinds of UPCs to pull from. And obviously for this one right here, these are all going to be in Eclipse.
Corey, that Westchester UPC is dead now, though, right? We're not deciding that anymore.
Excuse me?
The Westchester UPCs are now dead. We're not using those, are we?
Westchester UPCs, their UPC things? I haven't been told any other reason why we're getting rid of those.
Well, I mean, they're still there, but we wouldn't be adding to it. We're only using PIPs going forward, I was told.
Are we talking about retail or industrial product?
Retail.
Industrial.
Yeah. Okay.
Retail will still use
retail.
the Westchester UPCs because it also comes in under the Westchester RN number.
So that's something that you guys have been discussing in the product management side. No one's come to us to tell us that anything's changed on our side. The way we looked at it is that if it's for PIP USA, it's this set of UPCs. If it's for Westchester, it's these sets of UPCs. So however you guys are doing it now, that's how you're going to do it here.
Got it.
All right.
Corey,
Yes.
it's Nancy. Can you go back to where you were just at in add? I was trying to take notes and follow the bouncing ball, but I didn't.
What's that?
So I was trying to pay attention and take notes, and it was I couldn't do it. So, okay, so when you look in the 4 level,
Yep.
all right, how did you pull all of that information?
All right. You got to hit edit, and then you hit select. And then
Edit,
you come
select.
through the tree, right? So we were in hand protection. Then we went cut resistant gloves with polyurethane grip right here. Okay. So you go
Okay.
through the tree and
Yeah.
hit apply. Good?
Yes, thank you.
All right. And so I'll go to the next error. So the company is going to be PIP USA. And if you see this edit all button up here, this will open up every single field so you don't have to click on it twice. You can just click on it once and it goes. Like this one, see the ERP one, it won't let me allow to go in here because it all keys off the company. So if I fill out the company right here, it'll automatically fill out the ERP. Okay. So, and then the next error we have is what? So we have some on the style, that's those two. Then workflow issues status. Style that has no SKU. Okay, so I've corrected, I've gotten all these different errors in here that they've initially identified between the categorization, the ERP, and stuff like that. And product classified, no, I got to put a product manager in. I'm just going to put test. Okay, these are the errors they have identified. I'm going to hit save again. Now it's going to go through and give me all the errors on the page. Okay, so the first set is the initial stuff to set up a lot of the automated stuff that happens. The second step is going to tell you whether or not that field is for enrich or create. Okay, so what you can do, and this is not different than anything else that's in the ERP system, right? So I'm going to come down. All right, price line that's failed because it's for a create. See where it says create right here. So I'm going to come in, I'll select my price line. I'm just going to click edit all. I select my buy line. I'm going to hit save. You're going to see that 29 errors. It's going to go down to 27 right there. So I'm going to click down. So accessible branches, you come in here. And you click whatever branches you want in here. You know, I'll just take the first few. I'm going to slide them over to here. There's the accessible branches. Hit apply. Now there's your branches right there. And if you make a mistake, you can click on it. You can hit trash and that'll go away. Or you can say, oh crap, I forgot to add one. Come back in here, select that one, slide it over, hit apply. If you ever want to move them around, you can. I don't understand why you'd ever want to do this, but you can move them around if you need to. All right, then we get down to cell pack. That is for create as well. You're going to come in, you put in your cell pack for this item, 144. Usually this is the same, print one per label. And again, these are just the screens that those things are on. Country of origin is for create level. So we're gonna come in here and put Bangladesh. Do the harmonizing codes. I'm just gonna, Jay would hate that, but I'm gonna do like that. Budget category, again, it's for create rule. This is hand protection. Cut resistant glove. Sales budget category. This is an enrich rule, so we don't have to do that for create. Again, these are all enrich rules right here. Enrich, 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 enrich. Then you have a create right here. So master style code. We're going to call this one test 16150. So this is create, style, create, family style. Perfect. Commodity detail, this is an enrich rule, you do not need it. You can see that the segment, subsegment, select code, and commodity code automatically get pre-populated from that when we do the categorization up here. When we do this up here, that automatically fills out the select code, the commodity code, the segment and subsegment. So these are not free-form fields. Like some people think that these are free-form fields where they come in here and they change it like this. If I hit save, it's going to revert back to hand protection.
Yeah, that would have saved me a half hour.
What's that?
That would have saved me a half hour.
If you knew that?
Yep.
Well, there's videos on it. You get to look at the video. Let's see. Enrich, 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 enrich. So this is create as well. And these are all enrich rules right here. So you don't have to fill out any of this stuff right here to create the SKU. This is an enrich rule as well, enrich as well. All right. So I'm going to hit save on this part. I'm going to come down to style. Enrich rules. These are all pretty much enrich rules in style. Here's all your different specifications, which we're going to get into once we get to it. All right, so this is for creation. So here's your colors and sizes for the actual products, right? So colors and sizes now. We're going to say this is a salt and pepper. Smell salt and pepper. Slide it over, hit apply, and then this is going to be available. And I'm going to reorganize these sizes. I don't know how they got all out of whack. I think somebody went in there and alpha numericked it, which is a pain in the butt. So I'm going to make sure you guys get it back to the way it needs to be. So I'm going to say this is available in small. Let's see, now I go all the way back up to medium. Wherever the heck medium is. Yeah, after this meeting, I'm gonna redo all these for you guys because this is a pain in the ass. And then extra large. And slide it over. Large, medium, small, extra large. Hit apply. So now you have those things in there, okay? Relationships, this is all going to happen once we create the SKUs. Images and docs will come later, which marketing will add the images. You guys will add the spec sheet after you approve it from marketing, and then workflow is not needed, okay? So I'm going to hit save again.
Corey, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Does marketing have access to the PIM at all or no?
Yes.
And this is just a question. Once we approve the spec sheet with marketing, why wouldn't they just load it into PIM? Instead of just giving it back to us? Curious.
No worries, because you guys already have possession of it when you're approving it. So it goes through the spec sheet portal that they provide. You guys are approving it or sending it back for errors, right? So once you approve it, all you gotta do is come in, download it, and throw it back up. So I mean, you already have access to it. So you guys could be controlling it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what we have to do now is create those SKUs. I think we've done everything in creation, and this thing will let us know if we've done everything in creation. So I have to go to the colors and sizes where we just were at. See where it says process variants down here? What that's going to do is create all the SKUs for this style. So if I hit yes right here, process variants, hit save. It's going to go through, record saved successfully with errors. Look at this.
Green.
Went to green. We're in create mode. We're good for the style now, create mode. All right. That does not mean it's automatically going to go to the ERP now, because it has to have the valid SKUs that go along with the style. Because remember, everything inside the ERP is SKU based. It's not style based. We created the style inside the PIM, so you didn't have to do all these corrections for every single SKU. Anytime you make a correction on the style, it flows down all that information to the SKUs. So I always use Bob as the guinea pig for these because he has, you know, small through 8XL in 2 different colors. So instead of doing it 16 times for all the different variations of SKUs, just do it once and that'll flow down to all the different SKUs. All right, so to see the SKUs you just created, you go into relationships, SKU list, and here's all the SKUs. So if we did multiple colors, so if we had high-vis orange and high-vis yellow with all those colors, it would create 8. It wouldn't just create the 4, it would create all 8. So every color and size is a variant. So sometimes in the retail world, a lot of the times in the retail world, there will be color size combinations that aren't available for every single style. What you do is you just come in here, click on this button right here, and hit delete. So if this was in 2 different colors, and I can probably show you this that right now. So if I add another color here, we'll call it black, hit apply, and then I hit process variants again, hit save. You'll see all the salt and pepper and black things mixed in right here, right? So if didn't come in small for black, I would just click on that button right there and hit delete. And that would go away. Got it? That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Retail.
It's a lot of that's for retail. But again, we aren't doing different processes for retail versus industrial. We want to have a streamlined process across the board. Let me just get rid of these other ones. Get rid of this guy. Huh, well, I want to get rid of that one. What is going on? The lesson of this is don't do what I just did.
Corey, are you wanting to unlink them or trash them?
Yeah, I'm thinking the unlinking is working better than trashing them. There we go. And then come in here and then go into your colors and sizes and remove that color. And save. All right. So now to get inside the SKU, you'll see that there's no IREF number, there's no SKU status or anything like that. What you're going to do is you're going to click on these, double click on these right here, not single click like I just did. Double click on these, you're going to go into the SKU. Okay. Now the taxonomy is already there. Go into the ERP system. We're going to fill this out right here. So what I should have done in the previous step, and I don't know if I can do it now because I already processed the variants. On the style, you'll see in the ERP section, the style description. This is the same thing that's here. So let me show you inside Eclipse. All right, so style description is this description right here, minus the SKU. So all these different lines right here. You could have put this style description inside it here at the style level. Then once you process the variants, they will all come over with the same exact style description. So let me try that right now just to see if that actually works, where I can bring this all in and it will come down after I've already processed the variants. Because I know if I do it before I do the variants, it'll work. So make sure that all these line feeds are gone, so it's all one continuous line inside of here. All right, I'm gonna hit save. Now, let me just check to see if I go into this variant right here. So that doesn't come down. Now if I hit send to workflow, send. SKU list. Refresh. All right. So that did not work. So the moral of the story is that when you are filling out your style, okay, these things here, style description, style alternate description, style keywords. If you fill these out before you process your variants, create all the different SKUs, all that information will come over to the SKU. We don't have it tagged as a mandatory field, so it doesn't come up as an error, just because it's not a part of a validation script. But it is helpful filling out all these other items over here.
We
So-
typically fill those out at the beginning. That's no big deal.
Yep, exactly.
But here's a question. If we
Yep.
need to add information or correct a description, we have to do it at every SKU.
It shouldn't be like that, and I'm gonna talk to them about that. But once you make a change inside of here, Gail, inside of the SKU description,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not going to flow down. I think it's a one-way sync from style to SKU.
Right.
So I mean, how many times are you actually going to make a change to a description on a SKU?
Quite often.
After you've created it?
Yes. We change cut levels, we change coatings. Yeah, you make changes. In the main description, absolutely.
Not after you created the SKU. Why would you change coding or cut levels?
Something changes over time.
Well, I'm just saying it would be a different glove then.
No, we make changes within the glove.
Okay.
Well, I would assume if they changed the cut level ratings like they did with ANSI when they were going from level 4s to A4s, yeah, that would be a change. But in the creation, wouldn't you this is just you're creating the initial SKU right now.
Correct.
I mean, that would be an edit later.
Correct. So we have to type in the SKU right now. So it's going to be test 16150/L. We're in the large size. You can see that we have the color and size already up here for you to make sure that you know where you're at. So if I hit save right now, it's going to bring up the SKU information up on top here as well. So this is the style data. This is going to be the SKU data right now. So SKU description, we can bring over that plain text from over there before. So remember, you got to take all these line character feeds out that if you're copying over from the ERP system or from another product, you can do that as well. So I'm going to put that in there, hit edit all. So alternate description, we'll try to make this somewhat accurate here.
Does everyone know what the alternate description is used for?
No.
No, I do not.
Okay, so alternate description is used for price lists. So that's what it is used for. It looks like Matt's script is putting in pipes on these things now. I'm going to make sure that he has that corrected so it goes back to commas. Let me just write a note down for that.
Gail, how is the alt description different than the regular description?
It varies depending on the type of product, but also it's a question of the amount of space that we have.
Correct. So let me show you. If I do this.
So the alt description is the price list, while the regular description goes on POs that are sent overseas.
And also customer orders.
And invoices.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So you can see that there's a max size of 80 for the alternate description on this thing, and it's going to throw me up an error. So we have to, there's different size restrictions inside of here. But mainly the alternate description is for price lists. This is going to be for invoicing and on ledgers, and also for, I believe, shipping information, right, overseas.
Corey, I believe
yes.
this PIM system is also going to be used for like new items set up for our distributors. So, and they usually have a character limit as well.
Yes.
So isn't this stuff going to get pulled in for that as well?
So it's going to get pulled out of this system into another system that we haven't decided on yet, whether it's Syndigo or Salsify. That's going to do that sort of syndication for us. And then they have the different customer templates already set up in their system with all the character counts that we'll plan for. But that's gonna be a different system.
Thank you.
Syndication out to like Home Depots and to our distributor like Fastenals and Grangers and stuff like that.
Yeah, MSC usually has their own system, and they definitely have a character limit on descriptions.
Yep. So instead of filling out all the spreadsheets that the product technical team does right now, we'll be using a syndication tool that does that for them, and it keeps them up in real time. So we're gonna have APIs that actually read the data from the PIM system or from my marketing tables, and then it just flows right into there. So we make a change in one spot, it flows out to all different sources. That's the plan.
Thank you.
No problem. And then the keywords right here, I'll just type these in: D150/L test, whatever. And then the loads per unit measure, or pounds per unit measure. We get four characters after the dot. It's going to come up with an error. It's going to tell me like, hey, there's an error there. That doesn't mean there's an error. They're working on that one right now. You just got to remember you can go 4 after, but if you do like a 0.2800, it's going to drop these 2 following zeros. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter when it gets exported. It's the same thing when it goes into the ERP system. And SKU status code. This is the status code that's here in the product maintenance screen right here. Status stock. So we'll put that at stock. And you notice we moved now to the product classify screen. Stock status. This will be stock as well. I know you guys have different reasons for doing the things you do for that thing. Test 16150 /L. That's for the priceless basis. Calc 1. Priceless output. And you don't have to have priceless output, obviously. I'm just showing you all the different options here. Target GP 30. All right, I'm going to hit save. It's still saying I'm in error state right now. The reason being is that we didn't send this to workflow yet and create all the UPCs down here. Okay, so if once I come in here, hit send to workflow, start. Just remember, saving is saving the information you're putting in there. Workflow is putting information into the system for you, dynamic data. Okay, so that went through workflow. Hit refresh. You're going to come down and you'll see all the different UPCs that have been generated for this product.
Corey, quick question.
Yep.
A lot of times I hit send to workflow and it doesn't do anything. Does that mean I've just been sitting in it too long?
Nope. It just means that, like, what were you trying to do?
I don't know. Just hit send to workflow and have it take, and it wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but what are you trying to do?
Just some change that I had saved, and you had told us a long time ago to get out and get back in, and that always brings it back.
Yeah, so workflow is a thing that I've been fighting with them about for a long time, because I don't think it's a necessary step, but it does do dynamic data creation. All right. So my biggest thing that I'm gonna say to you is that once you get it to a good spot on the style, once you get it to create level, and you generate your variants, send it to workflow. Okay. And then go in there, and that should automatically generate all the stuff down to different SKUs, right? All the information should flow from style down the SKU. Got it?
Okay.
So think of it as saving as you're saving your data,
Yep.
And then workflow is creating dynamic data for you guys. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So when you're saying it didn't do anything, it probably was already done doing whatever it had to do. You only have to send it one time, and it should work from there on. All right, but every time you come into a SKU to generate these different UPCs that are generated by the system, you just have to hit it, send the workflow, and it'll generate the UPCs for you. Then just hit refresh, and they'll all show up right here.
Corey,
Mm-hmm.
if we send it to workflow and it doesn't have the minimum requirements for create status, does it do anything?
On the SKU?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was already testing you. I was already testing it because I wanted to see the same thing you just said. Because we never did the SBTI back here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So SBTI is in here in the ERP.
In the style.
In the style level, right? So let's set up the SBTI right now. So I'm going to hit add new. So I'm going to hit 1, apply, pair, apply. Create the next level. 12. Inner pack.
You're clicking in the boxes. Okay.
Yep, just one single click.
Yep.
If you hit double click, you go into a spot where you don't need to be. So I double clicked on this thing. You're in a spot where it looks ridiculous, right? Just close out of that.
Yep.
Should come back down here to SBTI. Oh, did I go back into the SKU? Yeah, hold on.
That's it.
And if this thing gets ever in your way, which always gets in my way, you just hit that little button there to minimize it. So these are all the different stars in the SBTI fields right here. Does everyone understand what SBTI means? Jeff, do you already know what that means? Because that's pretty impressive.
No, I was just going to answer you. No, I don't.
Sorry, SBTI means sell, purchase, transfer, adjustment, inventory. So if you look at any of our products here, the SBTI is up here. And it's usually a start across the board here on like say 95% of our products, but it doesn't have to be. And eventually I think they're going to start staggering because we're going to get to the lowest unit measure on a lot of this stuff, how we sell it. So these things are going to start staggering, but just remember this is how we sell it, how we purchase it, how we transfer it, how we adjust it, and how we inventory it. It's all at this level right here. All right, so that's done. Now you don't have to hit
All right,
save.
just do the yeses. We don't have to do the no's. All right, thanks.
What's that?
We don't have to do the no's, just the yeses.
Yep, exactly. So you see that the save button is kind of grayed out here. It's saving this table as you're doing it. So if you don't see this thing light up, it's actually saving your work as you do it. So if I hit refresh here, it's actually going to just keep all that work right there for me. It's not, you don't have to save anything, just going as you do it. So if I go back into the SKU, hit refresh, I'm going to come down here and fill out these different things. So what we can't do right now inside the ERP system is identify what unit measure quantity is associated with what that UPC code is in the system. And inside the system, these are just user-defined fields, but we define them inside of here for you. So this is primary, this is primary interpack ITF, this is a case cut case ITF, and then so on, so on. And then we have the UPCAs in here as well. Okay, and these are all automatically generated for you. If this product is already set up in the ERP system with UPC codes already associated with it, you can just single click on this UPC right here, change whatever you want, hit apply, and then it'll come down. So if I want to change this to say 68 and hit apply, it'll automatically go to 68.
Got it.
All right, so to change these all out, you're going to double click on this right here. We're going to hit edit all. And you'll see, where did the packaging type code go? Nope. Oh.
That's,
you know why? Now I'm
that's
going to
back in that other thing, yeah.
I'm going to send the workflow. These are the things I didn't want to do all these different testing things when I was talking to you guys. I didn't want to confuse you. But make sure you do when you get to create, make sure you do SBTI, then hit send the workflow, because then it should come into here. And if it doesn't, obviously reach out to me and we'll figure out what the heck's going on.
Corey,
Mm-hmm.
so we set up the SPTAI at the style level, and then does that flow to the individual SKUs, or do we have to do it individually if we've already done the create?
No, the SBTI is only at the style level.
Okay.
So it flows down.
All right. So it's not like the descriptions that have to be done before you send a workflow.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Yes, these are all good. All right. So I'm at the style right now. You see style is up here. If I go back into the SKU, this guy right here. It's not giving me my option, which I cannot stand right now. All right. Great demo when this thing doesn't work the way it's supposed to. So ideally there is a thing up here, which is packaging type up here. You click on it and then it gives you the options for pair, inner pack, or case to define what that actual is inside of here. I do have videos on how this is all done in Basecamp. If you guys don't know where those videos are in Basecamp, they're in the PIM group under Docs and Files, and then how-to videos. And this one is actually right here, UPC creation. It's kind of crazy that those things aren't working. I'll make sure I put a ticket in for that and figure out what the heck's going on with them. It's not gonna hold you up from getting that to create, but it is something we're trying to work on to assign the unit measure to the UPC that's associated with. All right, so if I come back in here and hit send again, this should get us out of this lock and get us up to create. Should get us to create. All right. So if you see this issue, let me know right away, because they said they fixed this. So it says failed SKU creation, it should be finished, not in process. If you come in here and manually do it and make say finished and hit save, watch this thing light up. So now it's in create. So I'm not sure why this is still an issue, because they said they fixed it 2 days ago and it's still messed up. But if you ever see something down here in SKU, right here, this initiation status error, let me know. But if you do all your work up here and just type in finish and hit save, this will light up to create. All right. So that is your first SKU you've gotten to create mode. Now, because the style is at the create is at the create validation right here, and you have a SKU that's in create right now, this single SKU in the next export will come into the ERP system. Not all the SKUs that you've done, but this one right here. So the other ones that are still in, let me go back to style and go into SKU list. These other ones right here, these will not go to the ERP system because they are not in creation style or creation validation. So we'll do this one real quick. Same thing. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to hit send the workflow immediately, which is going to generate all the UPCs. So if I scroll down here, hit refresh again. Here's all the UPCs for that product. Come in here and do the SKU. We're at the medium level now. Hit edit all, test, test, test. See how I had this issue again, where it says SKU initiation status in process. If you just change it to finished, hit save, this will now be ready to roll. Perfect. And the reason why it's not at enrich yet is because there's no IREF number associated with it. So that means it hasn't been put into the ERP system yet. So once it gets put into ERP system. Our ERP system spits back the IREF number to this. If I put in 1, 2, 3, 4, and hit save, you'll see that it'll go right to enrich. So that's the trigger in the system to say, let them know that, all right, this is already an ERP system. Let's get the IREF number. Now it's in enriched status. Now it'll go out to wherever it needs to go out to, right? So any questions on this whole process? I know if it's the first time you're doing this, you're like, what the hell just happened? I'm completely lost.
Sorry, it's Kelly. I do have a question.
Mhm.
And this is one, and this will be a good question for Mary to know. So since the made to order sleeves, right, they're really a separate style. Each and every one is a separate style in itself, right? So because of the different length. So is she going to have to fill in style and SKU details? Like, she's still going to have to fill in all that information, but she's really going to have only one SKU to technically fill in, right? Like, for example, an 18
Correct.
inch.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep. So I mean, unless you add different lengths, right? So if you do an MTO product that's, you know, they want it in 18 and 21, then obviously put in the size variance of 18 and 21, and it's going to create the 2 different SKUs for you, right?
All right. So that creates another question then. So say if we have an item which is like an HPP crystal, right?
Yep.
And I know that my part number series, like for a thumb hole, is a 20-21HXTH.
Yep.
And then you can have that as your style, and then you can fill in all your different SKUs by length.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
But we still need to build more of that part number in there, right?
What do you mean?
Because we'll have to have it identify 18 inch, 16 inch, 14 inch with a TH.
That's a SKU, right? So
Right, the SKU.
no, when you're on the style, you're just defining the style, right? You're not defining the SKUs at the style level. You're going to fill out the same way you'd fill out right now with the master style, the style, and the family. You fill out exactly the same way for every other product you've ever worked on. And then at the SKU level, it's a SKU.
Okay.
So if each time there's a variant, not by length, but a variant by like an addition, like a thumb hole or a thumb loop or a V-slot or a hook and loop strap.
That's a different SKU.
Yeah, so that's its own item number, and then we fill in the variants by length.
Yeah, your only variants, and especially in sleeves and pretty much everything else, is going to be size and color. That's it.
Okay.
The other, if there's another variant like in sleeves, like thumb hole or bar tack or any other stuff, or like gator clip, that's a different style completely.
Okay.
Just like we've done in the past, Cal. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel on this stuff.
Hey, Corey, I have a couple questions.
Yep.
On the duty harmonizing codes, are we going to have that as a drop-down menu, or is that just going to be free form?
That's going to be free form.
Okay. And then on colors, are you going to have where Pantone colors are going to be in there?
No, this isn't a factory cell sheet creation thing. I know where you're getting at. This isn't going to create any sort of factory cell sheets. We had talked about this in the past, right? This is more for customer data, right? So this is going to be data that's in the ERP source, and then it's also going to be out to the customer, right? I don't think the customer needs to know what PMS color the liner is going to be or the hem color is going to be, right? It's more for the factory.
Well, potentially. I mean, sometimes you do have customers who are making sure that you're following their brand guidelines and that you're using their colors, but
yeah, on the retail side, I agree. It's a completely different world. You have to follow their style guides and all the other stuff, and that's more done on the factory spec sheets. And I believe on the Westchester side, you guys are still using product manager, right, to create those.
Yeah.
On the industrial side, we're using Hong Kong to create those factory spec sheets to deal with the factory for us. Right. I don't know if anything has been done on the product management side to see if we can consolidate the way that we do those things between industrial and retail, or if it's needed. But that's a story for another day.
Okay, and then my last question is, so when you put your item in the style description and you go through that hierarchy and then it calls out what it is, that allows you to make sure that you're using consistent across everything, right?
Correct. Those are all validated fields, and you're going to run into a lot of issues, especially on the retail side, where the category trees have not been set up. And I'm going back and forth, and I need to have a product or a meeting with the executive team and with product management's help as well on defining whether we really need to have a 4-level hierarchy that's validated. I'm looking at a bunch of our other sources and other ERP systems that we're looking at, and especially from the other acquisitions, that they don't have a 4-level hierarchy. They may have a 3 or 2-level, and that's where they stop. So we need to figure out whether that 4-level thing is going to be here forever, or that's just going to be something that's nice to have, right? So,
Okay.
But we will be developing a hierarchy to support the retail business.
correct.
So I'll be working on that, and everyone will have to approve it before it goes live. But
Exactly.
that is coming.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
those are my questions so far.
All right. Perfect. Any other questions on here?
Corey, on that HDS code, if we
Yep.
mistype one, is it going to load into the ERP?
Yeah.
Because right now that's a validated field. If you mistype it, it won't take.
It's a validated field inside the ERP right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they
Okay.
got to be approved and then set up by accounting.
Okay. If it's if I can pull that validated list out of there, I can put it in here as a code set. How often do you guys have to update that? Is it often or no?
Probably once every 2 weeks for me in hand protection.
You have to add new ones?
No, I have to change one based off of what are
No, I'm
important.
saying, how often do we have to add to that validated list?
Oh, add to the validated list?
Yep.
Once or twice a year.
Okay. So what I'll make sure is that I can pull down the validated list from the ERP system and then get it added to the PIM.
I think the same for country of origin, and Lord knows we're adding enough country of origins lately.
Yeah, country of origin is a validated list, so that's simple. But I can certainly add in a validated list for harm code for sure. I mean, this is
Because we don't have that right to kind of crap out in accounting.
Yeah, that's fine. So all the ones that Jay's putting the tariff code on the suffix there, those are
Yep.
all inside of Eclipse too.
Yes, they are. The TRF at the end, yes.
Okay, I'll have Jay actually. I'll message him after this. Have him send me that validated list out of Eclipse, and I'll add it to this. All right. Any other questions on the style SKU creation?
So Corey, it looks like made to order items have been entered into PIM because some items are overriding the Eclipse as far as byline and price line. How do you find that item in PIM right now? Like I can give you an item number.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Let me get it because you're probably gonna need me the SKU, right? So
Yeah.
what we're gonna do is you're gonna come in here and go in the SKU.
I just put it in the chat window.
Okay. What is it?
It is 20-V as in Victor, 21 VACP 18-VF.
My God. Did I get that right? 'Cause you were a little.
No, Corey, the E is a D.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's worse than Westchester.
And it's VS, not VF.
It's what is it?
VS as in Sam. Yep, there you go.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see that there. What's the IREF number on that? Eclipse ID.
Uh, 103418.
Yeah, that one's not in our system at all. You're saying it's been overwritten by PIM?
Yeah. So I've had to change it in the morning.
Yeah, nothing's been overwritten by PIM. The only people that have been in the file are Kelly
back on October 31st.
Well, yeah, then these two were added yesterday. That's this morning.
Okay, I have another one. Mary, I have another one that we can use.
Okay.
Remember, there were two that were an issue yesterday. But Corey, I updated the branch. Sorry, I updated the buy line and the price line for those two that I sent over to you in that email.
Okay.
Would we be able to take a look at one of those?
Yeah, what is it?
Oh gosh, where's my email to you? I'm just pulling up the email here. (20-21) D as in dog, ACP, B as in boy, P as in Paul, 18TH.
Okay.
So what I did was I went ahead and went into the style, the style series,
Yep.
20-21 DACP BP, and I updated the buy and the price line.
To what?
Okay, so why don't you type in, take out the TH. Ah, there we go. Okay, so I didn't itemize it enough. Okay, so that will just pull anything that is going to affect only something that is that part number plus the number of inches.
Right.
So what I want to do, I want to go into a clip.
Cal, hold on. Before you go
Yeah.
any further. So this one right here, if I double click on it, right, we're in the style for that item.
Sorry.
You can see all the different SKUs that are associated with it right here. Why these TH ones are associated with this right now, I have no idea. Were any of these added recently?
I think these were all existing before, but it might have to do with that, family coding in the classify.
No, this would have been linked by the style. So I'm concerned that the information inside of Eclipse is wrong. So
okay.
Let's see, 85036. Yeah, the style should be 20-21 DACPBP TH. And I'm assuming that this TH is not on there. It is not.
Okay.
So there's an issue with this thing because remember I said the only variance between, in the sleeve is going to be the inches pretty much because we don't have, even if it's a different color, it's a different sleeve style. The only ones that we really group together with colors is like clothing, right? Protective clothing. Even our gloves, if it's a different color, it's a different style. So these would all have to be looked at, and
yeah,
these are already produced. Like all these right here, this PT and this TH, this plush top and this thumb hole, these need to get taken out of this style because these SKUs right now, if I update this style, it's going to blow these SKUs out right here. It's going to update these SKUs with whatever information you put at this style level. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Cool.
I do.
Okay. Is there any way to get a report pulled on
styles
with
I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to pick. Well, actually, no, I think we could pull a report from Focus on the product family. I could pull a report from Focus, and then, I'm sitting here hesitating because I know that it's going to be work.
Yeah, massive.
So now we have to. All right. So now we have to.
Let me actually, this is a good. good example that we can just show. If you guys are seeing that there's skews underneath the style that shouldn't be there, right? So this thumb hole shouldn't be there and this plush top should not be there. This should be associated with a different style completely. You're gonna hit remove link right here. You're gonna select these two right here, hit remove link. Then they're gonna be gone. This one, I have no idea what this one is right here. So we're gonna remove that link as well. So now we're going to go to these different styles. So I'm going to see if these styles are actually in the system right now. So we're going to look at 20-21 DAC P B P TH. That is there. Go into relationships. So you only have the 18-inch here. You need the 14-inch that goes along with this too as well. You're going to put add link. This is already existing. So we're going to search for the IREF number, which is 85036. It's right there. Select it, hit add link. Boom. And now it's associated with the right style. Everyone understand what just happened right there?
Yep.
Okay, so let's do the other one. So get rid of that. Go to the style again. We're going to search for the 20-21 DAC PBP PT.
Yep. PT. Okay.
That is not there. So there is no style associated with that one at all. Just want to make sure I have it spelled correctly. 20-21 DAC PB.
But didn't it have a TH in there also? Type in the TH. Or am I right?
The SKU didn't. No, the SKU didn't. It was a plush
No?
top.
Okay. All right.
So this style does not exist. So that SKU 86, this one right here. Just make a note, Kel. 86205. You're gonna have to create a new style in the system.
In PIM.
Yep, without this 18 on it. So it's gonna be 20-21 DACP BP PT. My God, I wish we could make these a little bit easier. But you have to create a new style for that, then link this SKU to it because it's already done.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Perfect. So that was a good example on how to unlink and link things once they're already done. It's going to happen because when we did this initial load, we expected the stuff out of Eclipse to be, you know, pristine, and obviously things should be. Hold on. So that should be good now.
Corey, I have a question. With
Yep.
you, if you didn't put that in Eclipse right now,
Mm-hmm.
would it download from the PIM into the ERP by Monday?
Yeah. If
Okay.
you made an edit on that style that was
PIM.
associated with that SKU, but we've detached it, right?
Right.
We detached it away, so it's not going to make any updates from that style down. So yeah, it would have updated. Yep.
It would have updated if we didn't detach. Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Any questions on that from anybody? That was a lot.
That was a lot. I'm sure I'll have questions in a couple days.
I'm sure.
No, that
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have
totally
questions.
explains the reason why.
Go ahead.
Corey, for me, I mean, it's given me at least a better feel of the PIM. I said I'm just gonna have to get in there and start playing around and start sending you emails, asking questions.
Yep.
I don't feel confident yet inputting anything, but I feel confident just playing around, looking at it, trying to understand some stuff. And like I said, I've been looking at my own PIM here and finding some errors that maybe I'll just send you some emails on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, don't be afraid to play around. So if I come into this thing right here, into any of your products, unless you hit save, nothing's going to happen. And you can always roll back. If you're doing something, playing around, you make a mistake, you can always hit roll back to a previous version or a specific date. You can go back and roll it back, right? So don't be afraid to play in this thing. You're not going to break it. If you break it, we make them fix it, right? That's the beauty of that. So that was my biggest, my biggest thing to you guys when we were in UAT testing, you know, a month and a half ago when we were going through this, I told you, I want you guys to try to break this thing, because if you break it, that means that we're doing the right things. So I want you guys to try to break this thing. Now we're at a point where we can't really break it because we've gone through all the different bugs. We've identified over 90 different bugs in the system and have killed about 86 of them. So I need you guys now to just start playing in this thing, get your work done in it, get more familiar with it, and then ask questions as they come up. Don't sit there and say, geez, I don't know how to do this, so I'm not going to do it. Ask the question. Either ask somebody that's next to you in the hallway, call me up, email me, text me, put it on Basecamp. We have a whole Basecamp section for questions. So if you come into Basecamp, and we can talk about Basecamp later too, in PIM, in the to-dos, there's a whole bunch of questions in here you can ask, right? So you can ask questions, you can put in bugs or issues that you're having. You can put in mass load requests. So if there's, you know, there's like 20 different items that you need to make the same exact change to, let us know. We can load that to the system for you guys, so you don't have to do it 20 different times. If there's missing attributes when you're going through the system, it's like, hey, this buy line or price line is missing, put in the missing attributes. The other stuff is more for Enterworks down here, enhancements and tracking system for bugs. But use Basecamp because I'm on it all the time. We have the videos in here as well for you guys to look at, the how-to videos. We also have the campfire. The campfire is a messaging system back and forth. It goes out to everybody in the group. Feel free to use that anytime you guys want. And we also have the message board, which I try to get out different things to you guys as I find it.
Corey, is there any way we could put the how-to videos in their own little place so we don't have to hunt for them?
Well, I can move them up to the top if you want to do that. How's that? There's only I can't make other boxes in here. These are predefined.
Okay, that was my question.
You can just go in the how-to video, but we'll right there.
All
Corey,
right,
it's Kelly. I have another question that's coming to mind here. Currently in the PIM, I have 403 products assigned to me, right? And Mary has 296.
Okay.
Some of the things that are coded to Jeff Cohen should not be. Some of the things that are coded to me should not be, and they should go to Mary. So as I send a huge amount of details to Gail, and Matt Minello goes ahead and does the mass updates and the changes, these products by product manager the number will fluctuate, right?
Correct.
But my question to you is, will I be able to go in and continue helping Mary on the cleanup if products that were mine get thrown into her name?
Sure.
Is there anything that, okay.
Yeah, because all you do is come into style right here, and use these preferences. These preferences come in really handy. Okay, so we have one for like brand tree. I'm going to get rid of some of these other ones. These are testing ones, but brand tree or PIP are the really two good ones. So PIP, you're going to have your product manager name right here. Nice description about the product across the board. If you come in here and just click on, all I do is click right here next to it. This little hamburger that pops up. And if you want to look at everything that's under Mary, right? Click on Mary, hit apply. These are all the things that are tagged to Mary right now.
Okay.
So Kelly, you can change anybody's. I've been changing a lot of yours with just your tagged and disposable, but you can get to it.
Okay.
You can get to anybody's.
All right.
Make sense?
Yep. Yeah, as much sense as it can right now.
Gotcha.
But if there are any big laundry lists of product management assignments that need to change, the easiest way to do that is to download it either from the PIM or from Focus, and then just send in a spreadsheet that has the new product manager, or if it's product manager existing.
So if you want to see, like, so say for instance you want to look at everything that's tagged to yourself, right? Kelly Kavanaugh, apply, or Kelly. Oh, I can't do it in here. So you have to do an advanced search. So you can do these things called advanced searches, right? So you go click on this thing called saved search. See this little A next to it?
Yeah.
Advanced search, you click on that right there. And you just come down here and you say product manager equals, and you hit this little thing that says look up. Kelly, apply. You hit it again. Product manager. Well, there's Mary. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I did the wrong thing. So it's not going to allow me to do that.
Okay.
There's another way to do it. It's called a save set. Will allow you to do this one or that one. This one's doing this one and this one and this one and this one and this one. If you keep doing that, it's going to do that. But I'm going to be doing different things. So this is on ownership. I'm logged in as Gary right now. If these little save search on the side, and I got to that by clicking on save search right here, you'll see that I have different save searches for you guys in here, like Gary Clee products, Gail Drigger products. I have one in here that says my products on price list, which you guys can use as well. So this is my products on price list. So if I click on this, it's looking for all of Gary's, because I'm logged in as Gary, all of Gary's products that's on a price list. So you see there's 1,130 different SKUs on a price list that are assigned to Gary. So if I took this off of the price list thing, you see it goes from 1,130 to 1,233. So there's 1,233 total, and then 1,130 that are on price list. So that also keys back to what's on these dashboards right here. Okay, so I use those save searches to create these different widgets for you guys, but you can also use them up here, and you can see that if I just click on save search, they all pop up right here. And I'm going to create a lot more of my products on price list, my products on industrial price list, my products on retail price list, my products, that are boss manufacturer, my products that are, this manufacturer. As we do acquisitions, those things will start piling up because you guys are having projects based on those different manufacturers, those different acquisitions. And you can start tracking them inside of your dashboard, like the boss products down here. Make sense?
All right, so we can customize searches and save them. And 5 days later, we can go into the PIM and go back to that saved search at and review it. Okay.
Yep. These are all dynamic. So if anything gets added to you, it's going to show up in here like immediately.
Okay.
Like Kelly Kavanaugh products right here. And then I don't think I can do Mary. I think if I do Mary's as well, I think it'll blow it out. Where's Mary? Oh, it must not be in here yet. Yeah, no, so I'll just blow it out. But that's how you can do it. And if you guys want to see your products on a price list, so my products on a price list with errors, you can see the error one right here. You just select it and say any errors, hit apply. Now it's going to bring up all the ones that have errors. So there's 735 here. And if you guys want to download all those things, just so you can see it in a spreadsheet, I would select your preference to be no preference, because this will bring over every single column that's inside of the PIM. Okay, all the stuff is the same. You hit select all up here, then you hit export. And this will actually download an Excel sheet for you guys to look at. It'll just say queued. Come on, export. Let's go. It doesn't take long once it starts. Boom. See, there it goes. Complete. Hit download output file. Pull it up. And there it is. So this is everything in the system based on that search criteria that you put up there. So this is everything that was tagged to Gary that's on a price list that has an error. This is all of his items right here. You see it's a lot of boss items. So much just for them. Got it? That makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It looks great. I think we just all have to work ourselves up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Another question. With all of these like severe and the ones that are not valid, meaning that we need to, you know, get them to enrich, right?
Yep.
Do we have specific deadlines for any of those?
Well, if you guys are making edits on products, and Gary had this issue the other day where he made an edit on a product and it wasn't valid, so it didn't go, right? So if you guys are making edits in the PIM system and you want that to get reflected to the ERP system, you got to make sure it's at least at create stage for both the SKU that you're trying to update and the style, because essentially the style and the SKU are symbiotic, right? So if one is in an error state and one is at create, you're not going to go. They both have to be either at the same level or higher, right? So if the style is at create and you have the SKU all the way to enrich, which is great, it's going to flow out to the ERP. It will not flow out to the website because they both have to be enrich to get to the website. So they both have to match to get out to the website at an enriched level. But if they both either hit create or the SKU, the styles that create and the SKU is at enrich, which is a higher level, they'll all go out to the ERP system. So if as you're making changes to the system, make sure that you're looking at the validity level and say, and be like, oh, this change didn't get the ERP. We can go in there and look at it and say, well, it wasn't valid. That's why it's not getting to the ERP system.
All right, I have another small question here.
Yep.
Certain product like cotton sleeves, okay?
Yep.
We don't want a cattle call for business on those because we make pennies for margin, right? So we don't want those products on the website, on the PIP website.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, we only want them to sit and create status, not enrich.
No,
am I right?
you can get it to enrich because you still have to put the website trigger on there, right?
Right. So and that's done in PIM?
Yep.
The website trigger? Okay.
Yep. So in ERP and the product classify, at the style level, you'll see that add to web. So add the USA web, just like it is inside the ERP system.
Okay.
And you also see allow samples down here as well. So you can get to any product you want to the highest, enriched status. It's not going to go to the website unless unless it's tagged for the website.
Okay. Got it. All right. I think I've asked enough questions.
Well, somebody else got to have questions.
You see the emails piling up.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of emails going on.
Oh yeah. Okay. Meeting adjourned?
No, I'm sure other people have questions. Anybody else have any questions right now? Wow.
No, I'm good for now. I'm just have to play around, like I said.
Okay. Perfect. Anybody else, Bob? Do you have any questions? I know you had some questions earlier, but.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at my list, the whole feature lists, and I mean, I know you explained something about that before, but if you could just, the feature and attribute list.
Yep.
What's going on with that?
All right, so this information right here, so this is all part of marketing, right? So marketing's gonna handle the brand, the short description, the long description, the feature list. This specification list, which is kind of new to you guys, this is all getting dynamically pulled from the web notes 1 and 2. So the same way you guys are normally doing web description 1 and 2, like this with the commas and stuff like that, keep doing that down here into notes field because you have to do that for create. What that's going to do is it's going to allow the spec list to be made. So every time you put a comma in there, it's a new bullet. It's the same way we currently do it on the website. We're doing it here in the specification list. The reason why we're doing it like this is that other ERP systems aren't going to have web notes fields, right? They're just going to have a spec list. And in order to translate those things, we had to get into a list. So eventually, when we click on the translation side, we can put the French, Spanish, German, whatever we want inside of here that's going to flow out. So don't make changes to the spec list, make changes to the notes field, and that'll all automatically flow over to here. That makes sense?
Yeah, when does it flow though?
Immediately, as soon as you hit save over here on the style, on the ERP side, it'll automatically come over here. So if I went to ERP right now, went into web description 1 and put, I'm probably pretty sure this is going to give me an issue. If it Kevlar, right? Did you go to Kevlar? Kevlar, and then came back into the style for the spec list. Went to Kevlar. So these are all marketing fields. So brand, short description, long description, features and benefits, and specs. And that's all the stuff that powers all of this side. Come on, website. What's going on with the internet? Okay. Nobody's having issues with the website right now, right? Okay.
There.
Weird. All right. So let me just go side to side on this one. So that brand right here is going to drive this right here. So if I brought up this product, 09K1444, of course I went to mobile. Great. You know, and it doesn't stop. So that information that's here, Power Grab Kev is right here. Short description is here. Long description is here. And then the features and benefits are here. This spec list is on the gallery. So if I went outside to the gallery here, these bullets are all right here. So
Corey, were you able to fix those web description bullets? Because a lot of the Westchester stuff is fine on the website and doesn't have them in PIM.
I did a huge update last night about with the web descriptions. So if you have any examples, I can look them up. But I added like 144 different styles.
I'll check.
Okay. I noticed the same thing, Gare. I don't know why they didn't come over in the initial load.
Yep.
But they're there now.
And we have the ability to override those marketing fields, all of us?
You can, but what's the point, right? Because
well, if I saw something misspelled or they were wrong.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, because this stuff is normally what's used to create the spec sheet too. So if you make a change here, I would look at the spec sheet, see if the issues are still in the spec sheet too.
Yep.
And then you guys also have the attributes down here. Okay, and if you guys are missing attributes inside of here, let me know. I know that some of these can be pretty ridiculous, like the construction one.
Yeah, it was horrible.
I wasn't able to limit these things based on category. So this is all the construction things that are for every single category. So I think you'll get used to what's supposed to be in there. Obviously, it's not like our PIM that it was a little bit easier to digest the construction field than the current PIM that's up there now. All right. Any questions on the any of these things down here at all?
I do have a separate question. Actually, going back to the byline change.
Sure.
So sleeve 10-21 HACPNY.
Neon yellow.
Yep. So right now they're in 1 mm, but one was moved to 1 PRI. It's the 14-inch. How can I just change that one style?
You have one SKU under a style that has changed bylines?
Correct.
Mary, I'm so sorry. This is Kelly. We actually would love for that entire series. That really all needs to be moved over to PRI and S.
Okay, so we won't have any reason why it would just be like one and that.
It shouldn't.
Okay.
But it'd be great through PIM if we could go ahead and update the entire series now, whatever is connected to those.
Yep. So I'll show you what's connected to it right now. So in the SKU list, you got the 14, 18-inch. Is there anything else that should be there?
Let me go into Eclipse and see.
Because what you can do is you can also do a search on the SKU side, right? So if I come in to here to the SKU, and you type in the first part of that, like that. Oh, you know what? It's gonna, because the size is different here. Where is the size in this normally? Is it?
It's at the end. So.
Oh, so it should pick that up.
Yep.
HACP. It's annoying.
I don't know if there's any easy way to. It's too bad we couldn't type in an entire series with PIM pulling it up.
Well, you should be able to. You should be able to just do this without the 18, and it should populate what's there. Is this? It should be looking there. You know,
we could pull it from focus also.
Yeah, no, but you should be able to do it this way as well. I'm gonna put a note in here for the guys. Okay.
Yeah, I had to go into CutGuard and then do a search.
Okay, but you should be able to see, like, when you get to the style, like these are the SKUs associated with this one thing. So if you see other SKUs that need to be associated with this that are not inside of here, yeah, we need to add them in here to get them updated.
Okay.
Corey, is the status at the SKU level or the style level?
Status
it's now
at
at
the
the
SKU
SKU level.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that's right here.
So at one point it was at the style level. So
the status?
Yeah.
No,
that was always at the SKU level.
Because there were things that we needed to like make. Oh, you know, it wasn't. It was the bylines.
It was bylines.
When we want to discontinue one size or one color of an item, so we still just have to go in and unlink them and then make that one change.
Yep. Yeah, and that's kind of the workaround. Obviously, it's not going to happen a lot in our products. It's like a completely one-off thing where you're trying to change the byline to a dead stock item on a size or a color. You're just going to come in here into the style, click on it and unlink it right here, remove link, and then just make the changes in the ERP system. And then that style will be it won't be there to get updated when you guys do updates to the style down to the SKU level.
Or just change your status to delete your buyer. It goes to your bottom of your buyer sheet. They know not to buy it.
That you can do that as well. All right. I think we've gone through all the different topics I wanted to go over for today. But if you guys have more questions, feel free to ask.
I do. This is Kelly.
Love it.
Sorry, I'm just, hogging up all the time here. My wing sock was an item that I accidentally did not have coded correctly as stock. So that was actually the very first item I created. So, and there it is, the WS series. So when Michelle and I reviewed it, Michelle Neal and I, she had mentioned that we were having issues with entering UPC codes. I need to make sure that the UPC codes do not get autofilled by PIM. I need the Eclipse ones to be the correct UPC codes. So I was just trying to go through and find it, but I was having an issue even finding the items.
Yeah. So what I'll tell you and everyone else is that let the system create the UPCs for you, even for products that are already inside of Eclipse. The reason being, it's going to create the UPCs for all the other variations if we ever going to use them. They're already in the system. So if you already have something in the system for, like, you know, the large size here, right? Let's see, just get rid of that. ERP, weights and dims. All right, so it looks like these have already been done. Now, do these match up with what's in Eclipse right now?
I don't know. That's what I would like to take a look at.
Okay. Oh man, you got two. What the hell ones?
Oh no, I have. All right. Well, yeah, we manufactured them at MMI, and then production became too much. So, but we need to leave it in there because it's existing production status, you know. So the very first one should be at 1 Shaanxi.
Yep.
I am going to keep these coded under me because they're international and they're wing socks, and I did a lot of work on these. So Joey said that I could keep these in my wheelhouse.
Okay. All right. That was confusing as hell.
Sorry. I'm keeping these. The MMI one, disregard.
All right. So the ones that are associated with it are 92617.
Yes.
All right. These are all the ones that are currently associated with it. So 92617. Okay. Perfect. So you can look up the UPCs that are in the system right now. Scroll down here. I'm going to go into this right here. Oh my. That looks ridiculous. All right. Do that. We're going to go down to ERP, then weights and dims. So it looks like that one matches up with the primary and primary. And then if I go into all the other ones, 01616890, perfect, and then perfect, yeah. So what it looked like you did is you let the system create all the other UPC codes for you, and then put these in. Oh no, hold on. Did you add? Did you hit add new? You must have.
Well, Michelle Neal, I wonder if she went ahead and put them in for me, because we could not put those in there. Or did PIM somehow pull the information from Eclipse for me?
It looks like somebody went in here and then hit add new. And then
Okay. Okay.
Which you shouldn't do, because it's going to get all screwed up when it goes to the ERP system. So
okay.
These need to come away. These are the not good ones. Remove link. And then these are the good ones remaining. So 891, 90, 899, perfect. So that's good. That's good to go. All right, so hit save. There's an issue with the workflow. This is a stupid in progress thing. Finished. Hit save. This is good. It's still saying there's a create workflow. Hit send. And now that's lit up across the board.
For just that size.
For just that size. So
okay.
You need to come into like all the other ones and make sure that these, oh, it looks like she only put these 3 in. So look, that's not how we want to do things though. This is totally circumventing the system, letting them assign the SKUs, because now there's 7 other different SKUs or 7 other different levels in the user defined field here that won't be filled out based on what happened here. So, geez, I don't know if I can recreate this or not. All right, there they are. See, it's exactly what happened before, is that they brought in all these other ones. Let me just make sure these are the right ones. This is WSXL. Everybody understand what I'm trying to accomplish here? Yeah, okay.
So it was kind of clogging the system and not allowing the UPCs for everything else, like user-defined 3 through 10 to flow through.
Correct.
Which, okay, so once you have the SKU initiation status is finished and you send it to workflow, that will allow PIM to create any of the other numbers that need to be there.
Correct. So my one piece of advice to everybody that's on the call right now is that once you get into the SKU field, so once you create all your variants at the style level that creates all your SKUs, once you double click on that to come into this over here, send it to workflow immediately. It'll create all those UPCs for you. If you need to override any of the UPCs, it's very simple. You just come in, you go to the ERP system, and then down the weights, UPC weights and dims, you single click on this thing, change the number up here, hit apply, and then it applies the new number down here. Don't try to hit add new and create your own. It's gonna jam up the system on that.
Okay.
All right, so Kelly, I would just do the same thing that I'm doing.
Yep, for the other side.
Right
yeah,
here.
let me do
know if
those
you have any
other
issues.
two. Okay.
All right. Any other questions? So like somebody's kid has a question.
Well, actually, yeah, you know what? I'm not muted, and Liam is actually upstairs on the second floor, yelling his head off with his PS4, and
Nice.
yeah. and my neighbor 5 minutes, well, my friend 5 minutes away, he has my 12-and-a-half-year-old because I was about to send Gavin packing last night. So I did, and he went to my friend's house.
Can't be outnumbered 2-to-1. That's the rule.
Oh my, yeah. Now I'm like, here, you're a man. He's intimidated by you. You take him.
Well, the puppy's sleeping right now, so I'm able to get some peace and do some work.
To give him a special sleepy treat.
I saw a meme the other day on social media thing where it said, first day of homeschooling went pretty well. One suspended, the other one got in a fight, and the teacher got suspended for drinking on the job. So,
I saw that too. It's funny.
It was so funny. But all right, anybody have any questions? I mean, feel free to ask them now. I mean, I'm recording this whole thing, so you should have access to all this stuff. So, anything else? All right. So if everyone's,
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
If everyone's good, just play around the system, start getting used to it, do your work inside of here. Before you make any changes in Eclipse, see if the item is inside of the PIM. So just so we know what's going on.
So we can make adjustments in Eclipse every single day, but it's going to be wiped out by PIM every single night, right? Right.
Correct. So the one thing I want to make you understand is like you should be doing all your work inside of PIM. If it's there, if the item is there and you need to update it, if it's not at a create level yet, get it to create, put in your edits, and then boom, it's gone. Right? It's going to get updated the next day. As these updates become more automated, right now we're doing it once a day. I mean, I can see this happening every 15, 20, 30 minutes, right? So you make a change in PIM, 30 minutes later, it's in Eclipse, right? So eventually we're going to get to that spot. We're waiting for Epicor to come back with a automated system for us to do that, which is dragging their feet on. But once we get to that point, because my updates for the website, they get kicked off as many times as we want all day long. So it all depends on the Eclipse side of it. But yeah, just play around in it, try to break it. If you break it, just let me know. If the PIM goes down, which it tends to do once in a while, just don't send me an email because I get like 45 emails. Just put up in the messaging saying like, "Hey, the PIM's down," and I'll say, "I know, I already got a ticket in." Usually I'm on the PIM all day, so I'll see that before you guys do. So just put it up in Basecamp, and if you guys need training on Basecamp or anything like that, we'll set up another meeting for that, and we'll go through how Basecamp works. It's very easy. You just got to get in there and just play around with it. But yeah, that's my
Hey, Corey,
yes.
can you show where in the classify field you can tell whether an item's in the PIM or not?
Sure. So if you go into classify, at the very bottom, we added 2 new fields, PIM style ID and PIM SKU ID. If you guys see numbers down there, that item is inside the PIM, and those are the numbers. So if I'm looking at this one right here, which is 2834, and I'm in style, and I put in 2384, I'm going to see the 34874. No, I won't. Which one am I?
I think it was 2834.
2834. Sorry. Jesus, I almost blew my whole stuff up. There's 3474. Now, if I'm looking for that size, this is a large size, 8483. If I'm in the SKU, type in 8483. There's a large size right there. Did I put that right? 8483. 8483. Oh, this is the IREF number. But yeah, this is SKU identification numbers over here. So whatever. You just,
if there's nothing there, we got free reign to make changes still because it's not the PIM.
Free range. We'll get it inside the PIM. Create in the PIM.
Wait.
What's that?
Oh.
You're gonna have to do it eventually. So if there is an item that you are actively making changes to, that's like a stock, non-stock item, get it inside the PIM, because eventually we're going to get all the, and we're not going to muddy the waters yet, but we're going to get private label stuff up in the PIM, everything that's existing in the system right now, and all the MTO items we're going to get into the PIM. So those are going to be the next 2 imports that we're going to get inside of it, but we're going to wait till after you guys are done doing the boss side of it.
That's fine. We got some items we put in for PIP Mexico and Latin American, etc. that I'm trying to keep out of the PIM right now. They're just placeholders in our system. That's all.
Yeah, well, if it's a placeholder so people don't use the same style or SKU, then yeah, those will need to go in.
Good.
And Corey, for the boss updates that to meet that April 1st deadline, the best way to do it is to look at the products, go to the dashboard, look at the products, the boss products,
yep,
and make sure that everything is turned to green.
Yep, and so I'm going to add another one inside of there too, because the boss products are already tagged to a price list. So I'll have it like your boss products on a price list. So right now this is all your boss products, which may not have to all be enriched, right? But you want to get all the stuff that's on a price list enriched. And then we have to add them to the website.
But at some point, we're going to need all 4 levels of hierarchy. That isn't done yet on any boss products. There's 2.
Correct. So when you guys go to update the products, that's when you have to get all that stuff done.
Well, that would be a mass level. You're talking 800 styles.
If you guys can predefine them for me, then I'll do that.
Well, we kept waiting for part of the transition, like we did on Westchester.
What do you mean?
We would set up the product hierarchy. I mean, you did it for us for the first 2, thank you, but we need to go 3 and 4.
Correct.
So would the easiest thing be to go to your boss list, download a spreadsheet?
Yeah, you can certainly do that.
That way, like all the fabric gloves could be grouped together or whatever, and then to add the additional levels.
Yeah, I mean, you come in here, has any error, boss is set to brand. You put, Gary as the product manager. Oh. Hit apply. And then he can sit here, put it to no preference. So you get every single field in the system, and then hit export.
boy, Gail, if somebody could do that for all the product managers that touch boss here, and because we haven't done that step. And
so you want somebody to export lists for you?
I don't know how to do that. It affects most, well, it affects me, it affects.
Okay. I mean, if you need me to send you a spreadsheet.
Kelly, something that, well, like in the format that you mentioned that we could send to Matt and do a mass load.
Well, what you would do is anything that's a change, you add a column, or you just highlight the columns that need to be uploaded.
Right. I think the biggest thing, Gary, is that you're going to have to learn how to export out of the system, make your changes, and get it back to either Gail or myself or Matt to get into the system. I mean, Gail, you can figure out however you want to handle that process because you're kind of the intermediary between the product manager.
I mean, if they want to send me the list of how things are updated, if what needs to be uploaded, I can get that to you and Matt.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and Kelly's stuff and Jeff's stuff and everybody else that touches Westchester or a boss.
Well, but I mean, y'all can export right now. Is this the problem? Gary is doing exactly what Corey is showing us right now. That's the challenge.
Yeah, it probably is, Gail, to be honest. Yes.
I'm pulling my details from Focus. Gail and I already spoke about it. I'm pulling, Gary, you mean to change from one product manager to another?
No, I mean that Corey's saying this is going to the price list. It's going to crap out on the price list unless you have that second and third level, third level of hierarchy at least. If you're going to go hand protection, leather gloves, you got to tell what it is. I don't even know how Dan got in the price list now.
Well, the 4 levels, I mean, that is.
It's the select.
You don't have to, right now in Eclipse, there's no issue with if you only had 1 level or 0 levels inside of Eclipse. If you tagged it for the prices output, it's going to go.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'd just be a blank column. Yeah.
Right. So, and for the most part on the website, we're only using the 2 levels because 99.9% of the people that come to the website, they go to products, they don't search on the 3rd and 4th level. They look at the first 2 levels, they get to the attributes on the side, those filters, and they just go through the filters. So that's why I said in the beginning, we need to figure out from a product management executive side whether or not those 4 levels need to be maintained as a valid thing in the PIM, because as we look at the different acquisitions that come in, not all of them have 4 levels of product categorization. They may have 3, they may have 2, they may have 0, which we've seen before as well. So it all depends on what we want to do there.
I think the other product managers have some opinions there, but.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You guys got to get together in your meetings and figure that out at an executive level. It's not going to.
Yeah, we'll get Gary. We'll get together and talk about it.
Yes. Oh, Joe, you got your hand up?
I did, but I don't know how to take it down.
I put it down for you.
All right, thanks.
All right. So, Gary, this is essentially what you were asking for. This is the list out of the PIM, everything at the style level, and you can sit here and sort on product manager pretty much. Yeah, I can give you this list. I mean, obviously, you know how to download this yourself.
Yeah.
Well, Patty. The one thing this will not have in here, it's not going to have all the validations that the PIM has. So you got to be very careful. So when we load these things back up to the PIM, it'll come over as errors still if it's not matching a validated list. This is really what we wanted to get out of. I think for mass load changes, like for product, where we're working on the product managers right now, that makes sense because it's one field, we understand what it is and it's validated and we throw it up there. But this is really what we wanted to get away from, dealing with spreadsheets and loading it into the PIM. So that's how we got into trouble with the ERP system, was just doing mass loads and blowing out validations.
And we're working on cleaning those up.
Yep.
You know, and I can take that role of, if everybody, you know, if everybody pulls their list by what they need, and I can then take the list and confirm what if the uploads are validated. I can do that double check.
Yep. Yeah, these are all empty. Looked like somebody did a couple. Bob Gates.
He's an overachiever.
He is. I like it. I love it.
WWBD.
No, he did one. So, but that, I mean, this is the list. This is everything with an error in it that's tagged the boss. So there are 1,109 styles. This isn't.
And I'm raising my hand to figure out what the correct classification should be for the ones that are marked merchandising, because those are product displays that should be under the product.
Right. Again.
Do you have on this list what's going on the price list?
Yep.
You have that pulled down?
I can. That's at the SKU level. This is at the style level right here. There's all the issues with the style level right now.
Okay.
I can add in which ones are on at the price list and stuff like that. So that's not.
That would help, because those are the ones we need to do first.
Yep. Yep. I agree. Just trying to figure out where the hell the style ID is on this thing. There it is. So I'll bring this over. This is the style ID. All right.
Corey, it's Kelly. Can you remind us, segment and subsegment, are they drop downs?
Yeah, it's in that tree.
Okay. All right, good.
You guys really don't fill these out. Mm-hmm. It's easier for you guys to do them one column at a time. But in the PIM, it's that tree that you do, right?
All right.
Don't try to freeform type it, it won't take.
Correct. It'll come over as an error anyway. You won't be able to go much further than that.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
You have 4 minutes.
I know. Right. It's crazy. Went right to the end.
Actually, here.
Corey, great job. Thank you.
Yeah, this is very good.
No problem.
Corey, I just have one final question.
Okay.
Props.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Sorry, I know I'm on a roll today. It's Friday.
You are.
Prop 65.
Yep.
I went ahead and there's this one boss item, 1UR1115.
Yep.
So I went ahead and I updated the buy and the price line to Sonny Bryant. Thanks for putting that in there. But now it's showing, I clicked it as a no for Prop 65, but for some reason it's still giving me a red signal on it.
Which one is it? UR?
1UR1115.
That's the most ridiculous part I've ever heard. All right. Well, it's just on this one right here.
Yeah, it won't go away.
Well, no, you don't put anything in here because this is a drop down where it's cancer, reproductive harm, or this.
Yeah. Okay, so it'll always be red and it'll always have a 1.
You just hit save.
Okay.
And then it goes away.
Oh, and then it just went away for you. Okay.
Well, you can't free form type into this. I don't know if you did that in Eclipse or whatever, but it needs to be blank. It only can be these.
Oh, you have to select the blank at the top.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. And that's okay. Yet again, learned something new. Okay, good. Thanks.
No problem.
All right.
So Corey, this it's all been recorded, right? As you
said. Yes, sir.
How does everyone access it now that it's recorded?
Sure, I'll download it. I don't know how long it's gonna be. It's 2 hours long, so I don't know how big it's gonna be. But I'll either put it on Basecamp. I mean, everyone else has access to that.
Okay.
So I'll put it right there.
All right. So this is a resource for people to go back and use and view again. Is Kyle Ramos on the call still?
He was. He's no longer.
All right. Well, we chatted briefly, and at some point we're going to put together some standard operating procedures, like how to set up an item, how to do a few things, and I think Gail is going to help out with that at some point.
Good.
So we'll have some kind of standard operating procedures in writing that people can use for this stuff at some point. But
perfect.
Again, Corey, great job. Thank you for your time on a Friday afternoon for doing this. Much appreciated. And thanks for everybody for spending their time with Corey too. So Corey, I don't know if you have anything else, but thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No, this was I think this was one of your best training sessions ever.
Oh,
maybe it's because I understand more, but.
Well, it's probably because we held up on the questions, right? We didn't get sidetracked on the question.
Yeah. I think it's the hat.
It was the hat? I don't have it on anymore. I can put it back on for Gary though.
I do think it would help to have kind of like a standard operating procedures, because in all honesty, I mean, we were still kind of figuring out Eclipse. So even some of the terminology or knowing where you have how you just kind of muddle through it would be extremely helpful for sure.
I agree. I set it up so people that were used to Eclipse would understand, like, all right, in the ERP, here are the screens. But people that are not familiar with Eclipse, as we bring people on, I mean, yeah, it's going to be a little bit longer of a curve to learn. So yeah, I think getting to understand Eclipse first and this at the same time, I mean, it's a massive undertaking, but I mean, it definitely will help.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yes, we will.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.